Good afternoon, everyone. If I could have your attention. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Springfield Township Trustees meeting. It is April 9th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Mr. Burning, could we have the roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Harlow?
Present.
Ms. Braun?
Present.
Mr. Burning is absent.
Next, could I please ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And I notice there's some people outside. If you want to come in, you're more than welcome if you want to stand along the wall here. But try and get everybody in the room. We know we got a full crowd tonight. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first thing that we have on our agenda this evening is a special swearing-in ceremony for Chris Niehaus as the new Springfield Township Police Chief. And Rick, I will turn it over to you. I know you have some remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Honorlaw. I want to thank everybody for coming. We talk about this a lot in public safety. One of the coolest things that we get to do is hiring new people and then really promoting people to positions that people work so hard for, that are respected and deserving of such of those positions. And as you can see with the attendance here tonight, Chris Niehaus is definitely deserving of this promotion. And everybody here that knows Chris, you already know the dedication and the commitment that he provides to this profession. And the people that know it most are his family. And I know just from all of the township employees and the community, the sacrifice that the family makes often goes is forgotten. And we thank you for the family to allow Chris over these years to be a leader of our department and our community. It's outstanding, and we can't thank the family enough for that. So Chris, if you can come on up here before we get started. I have some things I just want to kind of read off we could talk about Chris probably all night, but just the accomplishments that he's made here with Springfield Township. Chris has been with Springfield Township Police Department for the past 25 years. He's worked all areas of the agency, and early on as a patrol officer and a drug investigator, he was recognized by the department as the Officer of the Year 2 times. In 2008, Chris was promoted to sergeant, where he took assignments such as shift supervisor and then the commander of the Drug Abuse Reduction Task Force. He did that for 4 years. Also during his time as a sergeant, he supervised our impact unit and our detectives division. Chris was promoted to the rank of lieutenant in 2016. He served as our administrative lieutenant, and his primary focus on that was our accreditation process through the Commission of Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, which by chance this week we're actually having our on-site through our assessor. Chief Jackie Boykins of the Zebulon, North Carolina Police Department is actually here with us this week. We're honored to have you here with us this week, Chief, and thank you for coming in and taking the time to really give us the checks and balances of the great department that we have. As a lieutenant, Chris also served as our patrol commander for a period of time before he was promoted to captain in 2021. Chris has completed a number of executive-level courses of education. He completed the FBI Great Lakes Leadership Program. He's a graduate of the Police Executive Leadership College, PELC. He's a certified law enforcement officer executive in Ohio, CLE. And he's a recent graduate of the FBI National Academy, Session 289, where he spent 3 months in Quantico, Virginia, with police executives across this country, studying the ins and outs and what the best practices are for law enforcement. Chris's leadership and influence goes beyond the duties in Springfield Township. He has instructed regionally at other police departments and trainings on various law enforcement topics. He's currently a member of the executive board for the Hamilton County Police Association, and that association oversees teams such as our county SWAT team, our dive team, our honor guard, and he serves as the commander of the county-wide mobile field force team. You can see Chris is pretty busy. All while he's doing all that, he's also in his course of study to complete his bachelor's degree. Chris has demonstrated over the years through his leadership and commitment to Springfield Township, to be very deserving of this position. So at this time, I'd like for Chris's wife, Christy, and his two daughters, Peyton and Mackenzie, to come on up here. We're going to do the swearing in as Chris is the 6th police chief of Springfield Township. And his wife, Christy, is going to have the honor of pinning that chief's badge on Chris's uniform. Chris, you ready for this? Okay. Does this work? Okay. I'm going to give you the mic. Hold it up tight. I'll go slow. Raise your right hand. I, Chris Niehaus,
I, Chris Niehaus,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will uphold
that I will uphold,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the state of Ohio,
of the state of Ohio,
and faithfully
and faithfully
perform the duties,
perform the duties,
all and singly,
all and singly,
of the office of Police Chief
of the office of Police Chief
of Springfield Township
of Springfield Township
in Hamilton County, Ohio,
in Hamilton County, Ohio,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
So if you stay up here just to get this composure, we're going to ask the trustees to come down and get a picture. So you stay on up and get a picture with Chris. And then he's going to have some words to say if he can get through that.
It's a family effort. Oh, you're looking at, no. I forgot about
All right, get close. 3, 2, 1. Wonderful.
First, I'd like to start out by thanking everybody for taking their time to be here this evening with me and with my family and our department to celebrate this event. I normally don't like to read from script, but I thought it was necessary and appropriate that I put everything that I want to talk about on paper so I don't forget to acknowledge anybody who's made a significant impact in my life and my career. First, for our members of our department, I promise you this isn't going to last as long as one of Matt's trainings has. In 1981, as a 6-year-old little boy, I walked the hallways of our police department with my father, who was a patrol officer, detective, and sergeant here at Springfield Township. I can vividly remember telling all my friends and family that one day I was going to be a police officer in Springfield Township and a firefighter at Coleraine Township, as I had a burning desire to follow my father's footsteps of service. Never did I ever think I would be standing here before you today being sworn in as the 6th police chief of Springfield Township. To start with the thank yous, the very first, our elected officials and our board of trustees. I thank you for your support and trust in my capabilities to lead this incredible police department forward into the future as the next chief of police. Our township administrator, Mr. Chris Gilbert. I thank you for your leadership and support. Working alongside you has been both an honor and a privilege, and I look to continue into the future. Director of Safety Services, Rick Bly. Throughout my career, The mentorship you have provided me has been instrumental in shaping my path to becoming Springfield Township's next chief of police. Becoming chief of police is not just a personal achievement for me, but a testament to the faith you placed in me and the opportunities you provided me to grow both professionally, personally, and to become the leader I am today. For this, I'm deeply grateful. To my wife, Christy, and my daughters, Mackenzie and Peyton. As I stand at this pivotal moment in my career, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for the three of you. Christy, from the day we began this journey together, you've been my anchor, offering unwavering support and understanding, even when chasing my aspirations demanded time away from our family. Peyton and Mackenzie, your sacrifices have not gone unnoticed either. Each missed event, each holiday spent working, you both faced with understanding far beyond your years. Together, you've all endured the personal sacrifices that came with my career's demands, supporting me with resilience and love that words simply cannot capture. It is because of your sacrifices, your belief in me, and your unconditional love that I believe I've been able to chase and achieve my dream of becoming chief of police. To my parents, I thank you for the foundational values you instilled in me. From my earliest memories, you both have been the epitome of service, integrity, and dedication. These values have not only shaped who I am as a person, but have guided every step of my professional journey in law enforcement along the way. I'm almost done. To my fellow members of the Hamilton County Police Association Executive Board and all the local chiefs of police in attendance this evening, I extend my deepest gratitude to each of you for taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedule to be here in support of me this evening. Your support is a source of strength and encouragement as I begin this new role. And I know there is not a moment that goes by that I can't call on any one of you for advice or suggestions. Lastly, to the men and women of the best damn police department in this country, I thank each of you for your continuous, tireless, selfless dedication to our department, each other, and most importantly, to this community. The daily sacrifices you make do not go unnoticed, and the impact you have on this community is absolutely immeasurable. Your efforts are profoundly appreciated. I step into this role with a firm commitment to lead with integrity, humility, and compassion. And I thank each and every one of you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Well, I think it'd be appropriate now for us to just take a minute and if you guys don't want to have to hang around for the rest of the trustees meeting, we understand that.
It's boring.
But you're more than welcome to.
Hey, wait a minute.
You're more than welcome to congratulate Chris just right down the parking lot at the Grove. Thank you.
Next thing on our agenda this evening is a public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant projects for fiscal year 2024-2026. Mr. Gilbert, I will turn this over to you. Do you have a
I
presentation?
do. Thank you, Mr. Hunterlaw. As the board is aware, every 3 years, we go through the cycle of making recommendations to the county regarding our allocation of community development block grant funds. Those are federal funds that come from the Housing and Urban Development Department at the federal government, and we get an allocation. Generally, it ranges between $200,000 to $300,000 for that 3-year cycle. Due to some turnover at the county level, they're a little late in getting their applications out to us and the local governments to make our recommendations. Typically, this is something we would do in October and November of last year. But nonetheless, the requirement is for us to have 2 different public hearings. The first of which is to simply allow the public to comment and provide any recommendations for the use of those funds within the community, understanding that there is a very limited and narrow scope that those funds are able to be used for, not only in terms of the actual programming dollars of what you do with it, but in terms of where they can be utilized too. It has to meet certain low to moderate income requirements within the community in order for those to be allocated. And the first meeting, which is this one, is to allow to receive public comment and suggestions for the possible projects or eligible projects to benefit the community. As of this time, we have not received any public comment regarding those. It isn't unusual. The second public meeting will be April 23rd, and that will be used to inform the public of projects that the board will actually be seeking funding for. As a reminder, and again, projects must meet the following guidelines. They have to benefit low or moderate income persons. They have to serve to eliminate or prevent slums and blight, and they have to address a local urgent need. Current project ideas that staff is putting forward in order to apply to the county are the property acquisition for economic development purposes as a very sort of overarching goal. No specific properties in mind, but just to allocate that for that particular purpose in case the necessity warrants that. Improvements to Lexington Heights Park and Hollydale Park, and then sidewalk repair and replacement in Glencoe and Seven Hills neighborhoods. The funding awarded to the township is, again, awarded based on the amount the township contributes to the HUD award formula. And this formula utilizes a number of factors, including population, people in poverty, population growth lag since 1960, and the range of funding suggested by the County Community Development Department, again, is somewhere between $216,000 to $244,000 typically. Historically, funding has been awarded because of the township's ongoing application for West College Hill Neighborhood Services. However, in 2020, the township was awarded $236,000 for the 3-year period. And in this particular application, and why you don't see West College Hill as part of that, is the county has indicated that they are no longer eligible for community development block grant funds, and there's other countywide funding, I guess, programs where their services that they provide are more aptly geared toward those particular countywide funding services. So they have been steered in that direction. There are only 4 areas of the township that actually qualify for the use of block grant funds. That's Seven Hills, Glencoe, West College Hill, and Edgemont. So unless there are any questions or additional comments regarding that allocation, that's what we'll move forward with. And again, we'll make the formal, take a formal vote on that at our next meeting, which will be April 24th. So.
Okay.
So at this time, I guess unless there's any questions or comments of the public.
Yes. So is there anyone here in the audience this evening that wants to address the board regarding the Community Development Block Grant Program? Anybody that has any comments or suggestions? It appears that we'll let the record reflect that there's no one that wishes to make any public comments at this time. Do we have anything else before anything, Sarah, you want to add on this topic?
No.
With that, do we have a motion then to close the public hearing portion of this meeting?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's closed.
The Community Development Block Grant Project public hearing is closed. We'll now move on to our regular agenda. The first thing we have on the agenda this evening is approval of minutes for our regular session of March 12, 2024, and our regular work session of March 26, 2024. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes as drafted?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, Mr. Burning, do we have a fiscal officer's report?
Yes, we do, Mr. Honolulu. For the month ending March 31st, 2024, the township expenditures were $3,089,712.62, and the receipts were $1,771,698.36. The ending cash balance of $22,293,539.63 includes obligations for expenditures, payroll, regular operating costs, ongoing capital improvement projects, and investments. What I request from the board is the approval of the receipts, warrants, payroll expenditures, updated and current revenue report, and reports for the period ending March 31st, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. And I just want everyone to know our financial reports are available here at the Township Building during regular business hours or on our website 24/7. Thank you, Mr. Honolulu.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Burning. Next, moving on to departmental action and discussion items. Mr. Gilbert, do we have the Township Administrator's report?
Thank you, Mr. Harnall. The first action item I have, and I actually have two, and I apologize, the second is not on the agenda, it's sort of a last-minute add, so we'll get to that in just a second. But first, we have the approval of the service fees for the Hamilton County Stormwater District. This is actually for the fees for 2025. Last year at this time, we approved the fees for the current year that we're in. Those fees remain unchanged at an estimated service fee per single-family unit of $15.14. And as the board is aware, and just to inform the public, this is for the stormwater activities that take place throughout the county, and in particular in Springfield Township, to comply with the federal EPA's mandates and requirements as it relates to how we handle the discharge and the collection of stormwater throughout the township and throughout Hamilton County. So unless there are any questions regarding that fee, again, it remains unchanged for 2025 from this year of 2024 for $15.14 per single-family unit. Unless there are any questions of that, I would just entertain a motion to approve and authorize me to sign the approval for the service fees for 2025.
The one thing I would say, and I've served on the Hamilton County Stormwater Oversight Board for more years than I want to admit, but it was enacted, this program was enacted back, I think Bill Clinton was the president at that time. It's kind of an unfunded mandate from the federal government. Every county has these FSUs, single-family unit fees, and that's how the programs are funded. Hamilton County, we have always tried to keep the scope of the program, comply with EPA's rules without going overboard, and we have, I believe, the lowest fees of any county in the state, or at the very bottom. Some of the counties are paying, upwards of $100 or more for each family for these fees. We've tried to keep the program reasonable and keep our fees as inexpensive as we can. So it's been a good partnership between the Hamilton County Engineer's Office and the townships and all the municipalities that have joined in as members.
Yeah.
So
there's a good economies of scale by being part of the county-wide stormwater district as opposed to going it alone,
Right.
which would require the fees to be substantially higher to meet the same requirements. So yeah, I think being part of the county-wide district has made financial sense.
So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Speaking of financial sense, so we're moving on to our property and liability insurance renewal, and as the board is aware, we have been unlucky in terms of our claims experience over the last several years. We've had some major claims due to some catastrophic accidents, as well as some property damage due to unavoidable events such as pipes freezing and things. So our insurance renewal is undoubtedly higher, and coverage has become scarce in terms of being able to secure enough liability insurance, especially as it relates to our auto liability buckets. So I'm here to say that in order for us to retain similar coverage as we've had in the past with adequate limits, it's going to be about a 158% increase. So we're going to go from roughly a $320,000 a year premium to just shy of $825,000 a year to retain similar coverage, but that is even with higher deductibles and a reduction in our liability coverage for our auto policy. I think it goes without saying that obviously we've had a run of bad luck, and we're doing everything we can to ensure that our claims are reduced going forward. But obviously, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayer to make sure we have adequate insurance coverage for these sort of sometimes seemingly unavoidable events. And so I'm here to propose this policy renewal with the Ohio plan, as well as receiving excess coverage from an outside carrier, which is General Star Indemnity Insurance, for excess coverage and auto liability, which will get us to a $4 million limit as opposed to the $6 million limit we had previous. And it will also increase our deductibles in several of our lines of coverage. Again, it will take the policy to just shy of $825,000. Exactly, it's $824,099, which is a 158% increase. So with that being said, what I'm asking for is authorization to bind this policy pending final review of general counsel to ensure that she believes we have enough liability coverage just from a legal standpoint. So, but she and I, Laura and I, have talked about this previous to tonight's meeting. I think we're on the same page where we're at. So that's all I have.
You're looking for a motion.
I am looking for a motion authorizing me to bind the renewal with the Ohio plan and excess coverage with General Star Indemnity.
Well, we knew this was coming, and it was part of the claims experience that we've had. We do have a fiduciary duty to the citizens of this township to have enough insurance to, safeguard the assets of the township. And we're doing, I can assure the public, we're doing everything in our power to try to reduce claims everywhere we can. And some of these things are freak things that happen, but we train, we do everything. I mean, Rick is a big part of the entire safety services, departments here in the township.
Yeah, I think
Safety.
there was some things that we made sure culturally and training wise and everything that we're doing to make sure that we're operating. We try so hard to deliver that great service to our community, and we just want to make sure that we're doing the right things and in our training, in our policies, and our best practices to make sure that we do that in a safe manner for everybody.
And I'd be remiss without saying that this isn't unprecedented. I mean, this was expected, and insurance companies aren't non-profit. I mean, well, technically, we belong to the Ohio
have to
plan.
stay solvent.
Yeah, we belong to the Ohio plan, which is a nonprofit pool of 800 local governments across the state of Ohio. However, there are reinsurers that pick up claims of the Ohio plan beyond $1 million typically. So we have to understand that they're in the business to recoup their money at some point, and these entities have to remain solvent. So this wasn't unexpected, and I think going forward, we have some claims experience, a couple clean years that will be, our premiums will get reduced. But that's where we're at today. So just looking for a motion, as you indicated, Mr. Hunnewell.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to the personnel update. We've had a busy month last month. We had the new hire of Caitlin Cagnon, and she is in the audience with us. And as the board is aware, Caitlin is our new community engagement coordinator, who will do all things engaging with the community, as the title indicates. So that involves website, social media, being at events. Everything as it relates to getting the message out to the community and being that liaison between the township and the community will be Caitlin's responsibility, and we're glad she's aboard and able to make a lot of headway in that regard. We've had some comments in the past where we may not have communicated all that well to the community. It's a very difficult community to communicate with, but we hope that, with Caitlin on board and her experience and expertise, we'll be able to make a lot of headway in that regard. So welcome aboard, Caitlin. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
We had the retirement of Jim Murphy, longtime captain in the fire department. We had the promotion of Matt Morgan and Brian Sims. Matt Morgan to captain from lieutenant, and Brian Sims from paramedic firefighter to lieutenant in the fire department. We had the resignation of Art Schwartz in the fire department. We had the resignation of Joseph Hartree, and the termination of Evan Reddy as a part-time EMT firefighter in the fire department. We had the new hires of Travis Manson, Emily Jeffries, Samuel Daggett and Troy Schwernen in the fire department as well. And in the police department, obviously, as the board is aware, we just had the swearing in for Chris Niehaus as the new police chief of the police department. And then we had the resignation of Jamal Brown, police officer. Then we had the new hire of Jordan Wilson and the new hire of Rachel Gentile in the police department. No activity in Public Works, Arts Connect, or in DART. So I think, police and the fire departments were the busiest and the only departments that had any movement the last month. So Rick has been very busy as the Director of Safety Services, shuffling the deck, if you will. So all good things. So that concludes the personnel update, and I'll turn it over to Kim for Community Events Program.
Thank you. On April the 19th and April the 20th, Arts Connect's All Kids Theater program is going to be presenting Jungle Book Kids over at the Queenstown Performing Arts Center. On the 19th, it will be a 7 o'clock evening show, and on the 20th, which is Saturday, it'll be a 3 o'clock show. On May 18th, we will be having our annual artisan fair. We're expecting over 60 vendors, artists with booths. We've got live music throughout the day, food trucks, beer truck, lots of entertainment, and that goes from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on this lot out front. And then on May 29th, we'll have our annual senior picnic event where we're actually partnering with the City of Wyoming seniors and doing that event together to make it a little bit bigger. It'll be at the Event Center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it. Unless there are any questions or comments, the board has copies of the departmental activity reports. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Chris. Moving on then this evening, we have resolutions. The first one is resolution number 32, 2024, modifying the schedule listing of each street on which parking is prohibited or restricted within Springfield Township as required by section 302.2 of the Springfield Township parking regulations. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 33, 2024, declaring motor vehicles located on public or private property in Springfield Township, Hamilton County, Ohio, to be junk motor vehicles pursuant to Revised Code 505.173 and ordering the removal of such vehicles pursuant to resolution number 80, 2012 and Revised Code 505.871. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 34, 2024, declaring nuisances pursuant to Ohio Revised Code section 505.87 at various listed properties within Springfield Township and authorizing statutory actions necessary to abate the nuisances. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 35, 2024, establishing assessment for abatement of nuisance and certifying the same to the Hamilton County Auditor. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Do we have any old business before the board this evening? Anything? Any new business? Okay. With that, we come to citizens' participation. Is there anyone here in the audience that would like to come to the podium and address the board this evening? Yes, ma'am. Who? Eric? What's that?
Sorry, I was trying to figure out which one.
Okay, well, everybody will get a chance to speak.
Yes. I won't be long, I promise.
Yes, yes.
My name is Charlene Myers, as you know, and we do the meals at Holy Trinity St. Nicholas, and I would like to extend a thank you sorry, all of a sudden I'm losing my voice, to Ms. Braun. She came to our meal service, and so I really appreciated that. Our next one, oh, I had it, is April 23rd, I believe. It's the 4th, yes, it's the 4th Tuesday of the month. We're also connected now better with the schools, and so we're going to get flyers into the elementary school hands. I'm dropping them off tomorrow, so that's wonderful. I'd also like to thank, I think it's director, I don't want to promote you to chief if that's wrong. I paid attention.
Was the chief, now he's the director.
I know, he was director to director.
Rick is good.
Okay, Rick. Firefighter, and again, don't know if this is his title, Vandekar came, and it was wonderful to see him, and I just saw him in the hall, and he says, I'm coming back. So I was like, yes, we'd like to encourage more to come.
I know the police department was trying to get down there. They got extremely busy that day with some emergency calls, so we will definitely be visiting.
Okay, thank you. So I do appreciate your help and participation with our meal service. We saw 61 people at the meal service, so there's obviously a need, and we want to continue to help and support our community. Additionally, I want to connect with you to kind of get the word out now that she's in place, to get the word out in Springfield Township. Really appreciate it. So thank you again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, sir.
I have a problem with a few of your, I guess, ordinances that you have here.
Can I get your name?
Jerry Griffin.
Jerry?
Jerry, D-O-O-Y Griffin, Griffin.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
And your address, Jerry?
806 Compton.
Thank you.
We got that out of the way, now go ahead.
Okay. Well, see, I don't know where to start at with this because it's like an ongoing problem that's just, I don't understand it. It's kind of frivolous in a way, but here it is in my face. But I live at 806 Compton, and for some reason, everything I do in my yard is a problem or it's against your ordinance. Can I get a copy of whatever your ordinances is so I can, be sitting there playing with the same book y'all reading it out of? Because I don't understand it. I don't know why it is. I put up an automobile tent, just a little car tent to go in, and it's a problem. We got to take it down. Why? I park a car on my grass, and I can't do that. I get fined for it. Why? I mean, it's my grass. I'm cutting it. I'm sitting on 3 acres of land. My carport tent is in my backyard. It's not in the front where nobody else can see it. And I don't know who's looking over a 6-foot fence just to see what I'm doing continuously every day, all day. I get all kind of certified letters saying I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this and that. So I need it to stop, and I'm trying to figure out which way do I go to stop it.
So I can answer some of that. The certified letters you get should say what section of the zoning code you're violating.
Okay.
And the zoning code's online, so if you have access to it there, you can get it on the internet. If you
I
go to
don't
the,
have a computer.
all right, then if you come up to the township, they'll give you a printed version of it.
Where is that at?
At the municipal, here, just go normal business hours.
Okay.
They'll give, it'll take a bit, it's a big book, so
Yeah.
you'll have to wait, but they'll get you a copy of it if you want a printed version.
Yes, I do. But anyway, it's against the ordinances to put up a carport tent.
Yes, it's a structure and.
I mean, I see them all over the place, but I'm the only person getting letters saying I can't do it. Why is that?
How do you know you're the only person?
Because I haven't heard nobody else complaining about it, and they tents are still up, but mine is a problem.
I can assure you, you're not the only person.
Okay,
We
well-
issue thousands of violations a year.
Okay, but what I don't understand, how is that a problem, though? I mean, how is it a problem? I mean, who is it affecting and all that?
This board and many boards before this one have established codes and regulations for this community to have people abide by to ensure that people's property values are maintained and that what you do doesn't negatively affect your surrounding neighbors. So yes, there are regulations of what you can build, where you can put things to maintain an orderly community. That isn't uncommon. Every community in the state of Ohio has these.
But see, my biggest problem is the business around me. I do more maintenance on their stuff than I do on my own yard. I mean, their customers come up there, they throw trash in my yard. I complain about it, but I just found out I just go out there and pick it up every day. I feel like I work for them or something.
I can appreciate that. I understand.
But I don't understand why, though, parking on my lawn, if I have to do that, is a problem.
This community doesn't allow people to park in their
I
yards.
see people parking all over the lawns, especially when they have a party or something. It might be 50 cars
I know,
sitting out
and
there.
we do issue notifications to them as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, I need to see the ordinance book that y'all plan out of, because I think some of this is just frivolous. It's petty. And I kind of feel like I'm being targeted because,
You're not.
Well,
I can show you the notifications we send to everyone
I
else.
would love to see it. Prove it.
I will.
When?
When you come to the normal business hours of the township, when I have staff here to provide you with the information you're asking for.
Okay. And you Christopher Gilbert, right?
I am.
Okay, and your office is here?
Yes.
In this building? Well, I
Just so you
guess.
know, Jerry, I got a citation from the township for having my camper in my grass. And so it's not just you, I promise. It's me too, and I had to take care of it.
I know a guy straight down here on next to this church down there in the school. He got 3 campers in his yard, but I got a tent in my backyard, and it's a problem. I don't understand that. No matter what you say, I just don't get that.
Generally what happens, just so you know, is someone will call up and will inform us that they have.
Okay, well, can I address the person that's making the complaints against me? I mean, maybe we need to talk and see what the problem is. Maybe they got a personal vendetta.
That does happen.
Okay.
Admittedly, that does happen. But in this case, I don't know who made the complaint. I'd have to go in the file and look. Sometimes they do it anonymously. I have no idea.
Well, I don't want to say that.
Unfortunately, sometimes people want to do certain things on their property that certain communities don't allow. And so occasionally, then those individuals will have to, go to a community that would allow those kind of activities. And maybe this isn't the one for you.
I've been in this house for 10 years, and it looks to me like you guys, or whatever, your book, your ordinance, should have been at the table when I was down there at Sipsey Klein buying the house. Then I would have knew, like, oh, this ain't for me.
That's generally something people look into before they buy houses.
Really? Never heard of that. I've been in different communities that never even heard of that. Never even just...
There's a zoning code in every community, sir, and you can get their zoning codes.
I'm aware they got zoning codes in every community, but some of it is just frivolous. It's petty.
Yeah, you may disagree with
It doesn't even make sense. I mean, so where do I go to file a complaint about being harassed then with this?
That's not harassment. When you violate an adopted policy or regulation, that is not harassment.
Not harassment, huh? Well, what do you call it? It's just...
called enforcing the code.
Enforcing the laws on the books is what we call it.
Their intents was just invented about 5 years ago. Now all of a sudden it's on your books.
It's a structure.
Structure, it's not.
Okay.
Jerry? The entrance is over here to get your, if you come back during business hours, this will be locked. The entrance is over here.
Thank you.
Okay?
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sandra Presley. I am the Senior Branch Manager of the North Central Branch Library. Our address is 1110-9 Hamilton Avenue. I just wanted to share some upcoming events that we have going on. And also, before I start, we had a very successful eclipse event yesterday. We had 153 people who came and shared the 100 eclipse glasses that we had to offer the community. It was a beautiful sight to see that everyone was enjoying this phenomenon that only happens every so often, and that they were able to do it with us at the public library. So that was a win for us this month. And next month in May at the North Central Branch, I will actually be hosting a resume help office hour. So you'll have an hour with me, and I can go over your resume, help you update and spruce it up a bit. That way, when you are ready to go into a job interview, you'll have a nice new resume. You are also able to print off copies of your resumes because we do offer $5 worth of free prints per day. So that's also something that you would be able to do. So that event is Monday, May 6th from 5 until 6 p.m. And that'll be with yours truly. I also wanted to share at the North College Hill branch, they're having their health fair on Saturday, June 22nd, where all members of the community are encouraged to come to the College Hill Library for free services and resources that are offered by the Freestore Food Bank, Hawksworth Blood Center, Equitas Health, and then Tri-Health Mammogrammy screening, and Hamilton County Quick Response Team will also be there. So those are some fun events that we are doing that are nearby, because as we know, you have a couple of branches that serve the residents of Springfield Township. And the other updates are the Forest Park branch is still on track to be completed the end of the summer. So really excited about that. And then the Hamilton Mount Healthy branch is on track to be completed in the fall of this year. So as you know, they're relocating. So they've got the gates up and starting some internal work. So you won't be able to see what's going on just yet. But they are indeed starting the work on it. It's going to be a lovely expansion for them to relocate to a larger location. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I do have some flyers that I'll hand over. And I thank you all for allowing me to speak tonight.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Nice to see you all as well.
Thank you, Audrey. Is there, is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? Appearing that there is not, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. We appreciate it very much.